shit. I still have my hair tied up. What's up, y'all? I was doing some shit. It's easier to tie this mop up. I'll be right back. I forgot the case as well. We haven't one of them mornings. This is Scattered Remnants, Destined to Fail. This is definitely on my pick of like top albums ever. I don't have Procreating Mass Carnage. I kind of wish I had that one. That's all I'm really lacking. I hear they do like different metal now than, I don't know, like they went that other route. Man, what was that band I saw the other day? It's one of them frog-style ribbit, growly, gore grind bands. Dude had on like a sports jersey of some team and a hat of the same team. It's like, nah, dude. I agree with the dudes who say they don't want that in metal, or that's a different style of metal. Yeah. The hats were fine, but the hats have gone too far. But when you sound like this, I don't really care what you're dressed in. Nah, I care. Hot stuff. Lamentation of Tortured Souls. The drummer on this is having so much fun. Wait for the cool part. Drink! Smoke! Come on, come on! That fill was fun, though. Fucking love this fucking album. This is one of the reasons why. Lamentation of Tortured Souls is so fucking badass. Scattered Remnants, Destined to Fail, in case you didn't know it. Hot! Damn it, that's how I like my death metal. Right back into Cenotaph had his style, that fill right there. Cenotaph, Cute Genital Virulency. Ooh, that drummer had some wild and wacky fills. I played that on the channel. I need to play that again. That's a great fucking album. I lost the liner notes of it. I'd taken them out to read them, and then something happened. It fell behind it. Just never saw them again. Tragic. That's the life as a metal dude. That's the life as a metalhead guy who collects a bunch of dumbass shit. We got Dustblade. Dustblade, I was just talking about you, dude. There you are. In the comments again. Dustblade is going to tell us great input on my little snippet of the difficulties of communicating occult ideas. Yep. I mean, because that's the big thing. Communication is the thing. Communication, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, communication. That's the big thing. We got to be able to communicate. I think somebody said in one video, it was like we're using the same using the same. We're not using the same dictionary. We're using the same vocabulary, but they're wrong with different dictionaries. Yeah. Or is that in this comment? I don't remember. But it was said. He talks about ancient Greek being a modular language. You can combine words to convey any idea, and you wanted any idea you want on the fly. They were creating unique words every day. In English, we only have a very primitive form of this, and that results in gross reduction of our language, and thus our ability to conceive of complex abstractions intuitively. Yeah, English was meant to be one of those modular languages. They wanted to put that together because, like, Old English doesn't sound like English. Oh, Old English, it's like Middle English. It sounds like Middle. It sounds like English, but it's different. Like, you'd find it hard to communicate in Middle English. And like Old English, you wouldn't even understand them. So German and Latin was applied to English to kind of create a modular language. Although it does work, but it runs into a lot of problems. Only on the fact that along a timeline, slang and stuff like that, and meanings change. Meanings change, but the word didn't change. So we keep applying the same word to an old meaning. That's the problem with English. We have a meaning, we create a word for it. And then along a timeline, that idea, and it should, the idea evolves, but the word doesn't, but periodically we need to re-evolve the word. And it takes people like us, Dustblade, you, my friend, and myself, and anybody else talking and reading and understanding this. We need to do that Steven Crowder thing and get us right back on the dictionary. What does that word mean? And, the online dictionary has been altered several times. People have actually noticed that they changed the definition of online dictionaries. So I got to find like old dictionaries, real old ones, or just anything from the 1980s and earlier. But like the older you get, it's even better. So you get like somebody was telling me about a dictionary he had that was from the 1800s, and it was like, wow, the language has changed, y'all. So anyways, you need to keep that in mind. And Dustblade is really. We got to just keep reminding ourselves. Anytime we're having a conversation, just pause. Here we go. We're talking about this. Pause. Are we talking about this? Even in a meeting at work, if you had to be like, are we talking about this? Just clarification. And I used to have to get the MC thing, and I know that got on some people's nerves, but I was always like, so I'd always preface just to be clear. Like, to be clear, this is what we're talking about. Okay, please continue. Now, there's no confusion on my part. And then I've noticed sometimes when I do that, there's somebody else that had the same question, and they just didn't have the thought to raise their hand and be like, all right, they're like, I'll figure it out in a minute. I'll place that in a second. And sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to sit down and be like, I don't know what he's talking about, but I'm going to pin that word down. We're going to come back to that word. So it's good to do that. It's very healthy mentally and socially. And healthy social groups. So that's what we all want. Healthy social groups is what we want, y'all. That's why you're here. That's why you're hanging out. Because you want a nice, healthy, chill vibe with like-minded people, or at least close enough. Close enough to like-minded that you can share other ideas without anybody getting like, I don't know, somebody just up and leaving. It's like, oh, we're talking about Christianity, I'm out of here. It's like, I don't like anybody being that blinded by it. Like, oh, I heard Christ, I'm going. It's like, I don't want you to do that. But I'm not going to, I don't run when I hear death metal. Because I'm a nerd to this. I'm a nerd to uncomfortable topics. Putting people in weird positions. I'm put in a weird position just by being on planet Earth and forced to participate in this system. I'm in a really weird spot. So I'm going to reflect that back onto you, person who's making me deal with you. Person at work who's making me deal with you. Person at the, in the store that's making me deal with you. Like, I'd like for our interactions to go as sweet, short, and painless as possible. I didn't ask to be in this fucking stupid society, and I want things to change in this stupid society, and I'm gonna be the change I want to see by fucking forcing it in there. Fuck, can I get a fuck yeah in the comments? Cam, where you at? I know you're there. I saw you in that live chat the other day. You couldn't hide from me. I wasn't in the live chat. I was sketching that after. I was on with Baxter, Burial, and Justin. That was cool. Sort of. It started off cool, then got to just be like 4 guys hanging out. And then it was cool again, and then it was not. Anyway. Moving on. Gonna wrap up this comment, and we're gonna go to something else. So, to reply a little more directly, defining something by the process of reducing what it isn't. Defining something by the process of reducing what it isn't is exactly the reason why communication via language fails to express extremely multifaceted topics. Truth is multifaceted. Occult stuff, music stuff, esoteric stuff, philosophical stuff, etc. It's funny how it takes a series of books to accurately describe very simple things in life. That thing would have been much easier to understand in the moment if you were present. Yeah, that's why we write things down, so that we can share those ideas with the people who weren't there and didn't actually see it. Yeah, communication. Remember, writing this comment to me is communication. Me responding to is communication. Reading that text to everyone else so they could hear it. That music's probably too damn loud. I don't know. I slur my speech sometimes. Watching back on these takes, I realize I kind of slur my speech some. Well, I guess it's audible in personal context, but I think the mic gets confused. I knew a guy that had this real, I didn't know him very long, I'll tell you that in a minute. Scattered remnants, destined to fail. So mush mouth, we call that, some of us call that mush mouth. Sounds like your mouth is full of mush. Marble mouth, I think I've heard other people say marble mouth. Sounds like you got marbles on your mouth when you're trying to talk weird, you know? So this guy, I met him, and it was a situation where we were just kind of forced to sit there and talk to each other for a minute. We didn't have to, but we did. So this guy starts mumbling to himself, and I'm like, at first I'm like, wait, I can't hear you. And he just keeps mumbling, and I'm like, oh, okay, you're just gonna do that. I'm just thinking, I'm not saying these words, I'm thinking them. I'm like, oh, you're just gonna do that. And then he started like really talking, and I was like, wait, there's a story in there, and it sounds interesting. Because it brought him to the situation we were in. The situation we were in was a county jail, and I was going to be there for a little bit. And he had basically just come in. I'd been there a few days, maybe even a week. And he had come in, and he just started like, hey man, what's up, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Boomhauer from King of the Hill was talking. I'm like, I can't, oh, you're just going to do that, okay. What are you talking about? I'm like, wait a minute, that's starting to get interesting. What did you just say? And then he just keeps mumbling. And then he does this in perfect English right to me because he's all mumble, but won't make eye contact. Just kind of glancing eye contact. Mumble. He starts to be like, what are you saying? This sounds fun. Because I think it's leading to how you got into jail, and I actually need to know that. I want to know why you're in this jail. If you're in here for normal shit, I don't care. It's just I want to make sure you're not here for, like, doing something you really weren't supposed to be doing. Word, y'all know what I'm talking about. So... he'd mumble. Anyway, and then that's why I had to mace my mama. And I'm like, bro, you need to start the story with that. It was mumble, and that's why I had to mace my mama. Psh, mace, pepper sprayed his mom. The fuck? And I'm like, I should be upset that you just maced a female that was your mother. I should be upset about that, but I'm going to put a pin in that. Because she may have come at you like a zombie or a rabbit or on drugs and you had to defend yourself. So I don't know the full situation. And I'd like you to start that story over again. I didn't say any of that. I wanted to so badly, but we were in a county jail and everybody was watching us. And they were like watching me because I had just experienced this idiot. This idiot is somebody that they had just experienced. They're seeing my reaction to it. Mumble. That's why I had to mace my mama. I'm like, bro, start the story like that. I actually legitimately said that so that enough people could hear it. I was like, I can't hear it. And I said, literally, I can't hear enough. Start over. You know? And then he just kind of like, and just kind of walked off. Finally convened with some of the dudes who were watching me, and they're like, oh, did you meet him? I hear, see you met blah, 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 whatever his name was, I don't recall. So I saw you met him, and I was like, yeah, I couldn't figure out what this deal was, but as soon as I heard the macing my mama, I couldn't hear enough. I want to hear that story again. I want to hear that recanted over and over again for the rest of my stay in here. Like, every other day at lunch, you must repeat this story. It's the only entertainment we have in here besides a couple of really old books. So, another day passed. I was looking for that fine gentleman and, like, seeing how he was. Like, can you clarify why you had to mace your mama? Because now I'm just kind of interested. I don't know. I promise you I don't know whether I'm going to be angry or not angry. I can't give any promises either way. But I will hear you with an open mind. I was going to say that to him. I was looking for the little scamp because he was a little smaller than me. Older than me, maybe. I don't know. Younger than me and just done a bunch of drugs. Probably what it was. Well, I couldn't find him. I finally asked those guys I knew. It was like, where'd the mace my mama guy go? They're like, oh, he's on suicide watch. I'm like, oh, that's a shame. He was entertaining. I never saw him again. I did the rest of my time, never saw that guy again, never heard from him again either. I'm only left to assume that macing my mama thing didn't have a version of the story that made him look good. Which, in jail, even in county jail, that can be problematic. I don't think I want to hang around a guy that abuses women to the tune of macing them for literally no reason whatsoever. It's like a dog biting a child or a female of the owner. You know, the owner's a male, like, or whatever. Just assuming that. But a dog bites the hand it feeds, or a dog bites a child. Woo! It's like, sorry, puppy, gotta go. Sorry, puppy, gotta go. Like, and that's the thing. It's so rare that you know that if that occurred, something serious had to have gone down in the animal's brain, and that animal is not safe for anyone to be around. Let alone the young ones. Why do I bring that up? Scattered remnants, destined to fail. Oh, I bring it up because it's important. I think we can agree that, you know, doing those things is really, really bad, and we shouldn't do that at all. And that people that do it should have a fair trial. I believe in a fair trial, jury amongst your peers. But when a hammer comes down, a hammer comes down. That's all I'm saying. But I also think drugs should be legalized. It's like, I don't like the areas where they did that. Nah, man, they defanged the cops, defunded the cops, then made drugs legal. That's where shit got sideways. I bet you guys on the West Coast can fucking attest to that shit. It was like, nah, you didn't have any treatment programs, and you had a defanged police force. And then you had a defanged Department of Justice where they wouldn't prosecute a lot of stuff. Then you legalized the drugs. Whoa, wrong order. Wrong order. First, you gotta get a system of treatment and medication. At least medication to get off the drugs. Treatment to keep you off the drugs. Job training, things for a person to do. There's got to be work for them to do. I love this melody. Then you start decriminalizing the drugs, and you only decriminalize them to certain amounts. It's a process you need to go through. I don't like prohibition, but you kind of have to wean yourself off of law. You have to wean yourself off of law and order. And you have to start weaning yourself on self-fucking control. And consequences for your actions. It's a very serious world, serious ramifications in that world. But you'd be surprised what flies. Mutual combat. That's something we need to see more of. It should be legal to duel. In Texas, it's legal to duel. Scattered Remnants, Destined to Fail. It's on YouTube. Go listen to it. I think this is Angelic Redemption on YouTube. Fucking finish listening to it. I'm Cattle Prod, Appalachian Warlord. See you next time.